also meet Michigan's shutdown corner as we talk with Leon Hall. And we'll look ahead to the Big Ten road opener as we scout the Minnesota Golden Gophers. All that and more coming up next. Michigan Replay with Lloyd Carr is brought to you in part by Absa Pure Water, delivering quality bottled water since 1908. By Sirius Satellite Radio. By the University of Michigan Alumni Association, uniting the leaders and best. www.umalumni.com. By State Farm, providing insurance and financial services. And by Pontiac, official performance machines of Michigan and the NCAA. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Michigan Replay. Well, the Wolverines opened the Big Ten season with a victory over Wisconsin. Final 27-13. Coach Carr, it was a Big Ten opener, and it was a tough one.
Well, it was a typical Wisconsin-Michigan game.
It was one of those games where you line it up in the trenches and you go after each other, isn't it?
Tough, hard-hitting, physical game, and, of course, defense stood out in this game.
It was 10-10 at the half, but what I want to talk about was coming into the game, after the great victory over Notre Dame, did you feel like you were going to be in a slugfest for 30 minutes?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And Minnesota, I'm getting ahead of myself.
I know. You got to remember, they're next week.
Well, Wisconsin, their back heel was leading the Big Ten in rushing, and but I really liked their defense. Basically the same defense that shut us down a year ago.
They were better than advertised, weren't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. They played well, and they played well together, and we missed some opportunities in the first half, Jim.
We go to the highlights. One of the things you didn't want to do when you were opening up was turn the ball over in your first possession.
Well, we had to put together an excellent drive. The ball there is a little bit behind Mario, and Wisconsin made a nice play. They have good field position, and they do exactly what we didn't want them to do. They put a good drive together. Here they bounced the ball outside. David got caught inside a little bit, and they're moving the football.
And that P.J. Hill is a big back.
Well,
he's tough to bring down.
He's 250-plus pounds, and here we bust a coverage and leave him uncovered, and now down 7-0 our opening Big Ten game.
And this is not the way you want to start.
No, it isn't. What we wanted to do, Jim, was get ahead and make Wisconsin play from behind.
Here's a great throw and catch. Adrian Arrington's really coming on.
Adrian Arrington has gotten better. This is his best game since he's been at Michigan. He's a big guy, good hands, and he can run with it after he catches it.
You start bleeding yardage, too, in there with Michael Hart. And here's one of those plays, again, that kind of moves momentum back. 4th and 1, you go for it.
Well, this was, a play we felt going in. We didn't huddle there. And I credit Wisconsin. They were very alert. They got lined up, and we came up short. And again, we miss an opportunity here.
But this is the point where I think your defense really starts to clamp down.
Well, following that first drive, our defense was absolutely sensational. Alan Branch, I think, without a question, he's had some great games, but this was his best. Steve
Breston had a great game. This was his career high in return yardage on punts.
Well, you can see that we've got some guys down the field. I think if Steve would have cut to the outside, he may have gone the distance, but he really gave us great field position. Here's Jake Long and an unbelievable block running off the left side here.
Then you want to go deep, and Mario Manningham just making a habit of catching touchdown passes.
Well, he got behind the corner, and Chad threw the ball where the defender couldn't get to it. And great concentration. Mario, I'm sure they spent a lot of time saying the one thing we don't want to do is let him behind us.
Here's a big play for them to get out of their own goal line, or otherwise I think you might have been able to stop this drive.
Well, we got him stopped. If we got man coverage there, and we missed the tackle, and he's a big guy, made a good run, picked up a big first down, and we hurt ourselves badly in this drive, Jim, with a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. But David Harris comes up with a big stop here. David Harris is having one great year.
Well, that was on a 2nd and 5, and that just stones them and forces them to go to a field goal. At that point, it's a 10-7 Wisconsin lead. Then you get the break you want on a great punt from Zoltan Mesko.
Zoltan Mesko hit this about as well as you can ever hit a punt. And Darnell Hood beat double coverage here, right there, knocks the ball, keeps the return man from recovering it. Turner Booth, our long snapper, is hustling down, does a great job in securing the football. And we got a chance here to really change the momentum of the game, but we can't get a first down. And Garrett Rivas kicks a field goal. Garrett is kicking as well as he's kicked since he's been here.
Now, you go into the locker room halftime at 10-10. Now, speculation is you're having a talking to the team at halftime. Now, you can say that speculation was incorrect or it was correct.
Well, I simply reminded them that this is a championship game, the opening game of the Big Ten season. You can't lose at home and go on the road and feel good. So, but our defense, Jim, played tremendous with the exception of the first drive. Offensively, we needed to sustain some things and make some plays.
Did you remind them with intensity?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I knew we'd get it out of him. Don't go away. When we come back, we'll see the second half when Michigan puts it away. First, we hear from Turner Booth, who talks about fumble recoveries are as simple as A, B, C.
I just try to snap the ball first and foremost, you know, and then I got a free release. The defense wasn't blocking me. Zoltan put the ball nice high in the air, and Darnell Hood made a great play, made him strip the ball. I saw it sitting there, and I just ran as fast as I could, jumped on top of it.
He'll take you inside the locker room.
My role basically is wherever the coaches want to put me, you know. You got a lot of guys going to be going after Mario, doubling team him like this team did, you know. Steve, everybody knows about Steve. So I'm that guy to, kind of like you said, the under-the-radar guy who can help our team make some big plays.
Adrian Arrington's no longer under the radar, not after a performance like he had against Wisconsin.
Well, I'm really excited for him and for our team because he really brings another dimension.
Exactly. You've got, you know, Mario Manningham's doing great. Now you have Arrington coming along. Steve Breston's always there. Makes it tough on defenses.
Yes, it does. And you know, what I like, our receivers are playing without the ball, Jim. They're doing a great job blocking on running plays.
This is your second possession now in the second half against Wisconsin. And this is where you start to take control of this football game.
Yes, we do. And one of the reasons, Jim, we have great field position created by our defense really playing outstanding football and our kick teams getting good field position there. Chad hits Mike Hart, who makes a good cut in the first down. And here we stall the drive. We should have, Chad probably one of the very few bad throws he made in this game. He should have checked the ball down to the back because they had good coverage.
But the key is your defense continues to put pressure on Stocco.
Lamar almost made one of the great interceptions you'll ever see. He was mad at himself because he had a chance to get it.
Well, it was Rondell Biggs that knocked it up in the air, and then you come back again with good field position because of your special teams.
Well, Jim, when you see those two catches that Mario made there, tight coverage in front of him, and that's what sets up this play. It was a play off the slant. Mario made a great move, and Chad made a great throw, great protection, just when we needed a big play.
And your first lead of the game gets you at 17-10, and that's got to make you breathe a little easier because your defense continues to do this.
Our defense, here's Alan Branch again. Terrence Taylor created some good pressure. Lamar had a sack. We had great effort here in the second half. Our defense was dominating in the second half, and here, again, great field position on a kick return by Steve Breston.
And again, Breston sets a career mark for a one-game return yardage. And those are the hidden yards that put field position and make things easier for your offense.
Well, there's no question. We got some guys that are really working hard, blocking for Steve. Here, Chad makes one of the better throws maybe that he's made in his career on the run, hitting Adrian Arrington. We're down inside the 10, and Mike Hart running behind Mark Beal, and Alex Mitchell and Reuben Riley makes a good cut. And now we're where we want to be as
Yeah.
far as making Wisconsin play from behind.
Right, you got them. You're up 2 scores, and the defense just continues to pound quarterback Stockwell.
Well, they missed an assignment there, and Tim Jamison, I think, is getting close to being healthy, and he's a guy that can make some plays.
There's a great slant cut, get you out of some trouble on a 3rd and 7. On your next possession, then Kevin Grady does some good hard route.
Well, Kevin is a guy that, as we go through here, I think will have an increased role. He's really running the football hard, and he will soften up the defense.
And Garrett Rivas kicks a field goal to make it a 27-10 game. Wisconsin comes back with a field goal late to make the final 27-13. You were talking about Kevin Grady playing. Y'all got Brandon Miner in the game a little bit. And those 3 backs, you know, Mike's going to get the majority of carries probably. But, boy, you've got a nice stable back there.
Well, Kevin Grady has proven to be a very, very good football player. We need to play him more. And Brandon Miner has proved reliable with the football. He's got a great upside. So the more playing time we can get him, it creates a situation, Jim, later in the season where we've got some depth.
Back to the game itself. At 10-10 at halftime to the 27-13 win. Is this the kind of game that, you know, sets you up for where you struggle a little bit first half, then you dominate and get going in the second half, set you up for the next week?
Well, I think certainly emotionally we were not the same team we were a week ago. You're just not going to have the same emotional high.
You talked about that. You said it's tough to get that way week in, week out, but you've got to still, you know, play hard to get so that you get the victory.
Well, what I liked about this team during the week is they practiced hard. We had good practices, and we played very hard in this game. And to me, that's what you have to be able to do coming off an emotional win.
Yeah,
this was a dangerous game.
Right. Is there a difference between intensity and playing hard? It seems like it is a little bit different, isn't it?
Well, I think what really sparked us in the second half is our defense. They were emotional. They played with great intensity and enthusiasm. They really took the game over, and that allows us to get a win and to go back into the Metrodome this week and play for the Little Brown Jug.
Minnesota's on his mind, isn't it? We'll get to the Gophers in a minute, but first, we're going to meet Leon Hall next. But first, we hear from Alan Branch, who says the defense up front is very focused.
We say that we want to be one of the best defenses in the nation, and part of being that is stopping the run. So we all, you know, just kept our mind on one thing and stopping the run. And really, I mean, we're a great passing defense. So once they started passing the ball, it went right into our hands.
One of the Michigan players who has received a lot of preseason notice this season has been cornerback Leon Hall. He's on some All-American lists, but according to Leon, all that preseason talk is just that. It's talk.
I mean, it's definitely an honor and a privilege to just kind of have those kind of labels. But, I mean, at the same time, I don't really like to look into stuff like that. You know, sometimes some guys look into that and they kind of, their head gets blown up a little bit. So I try to not concentrate on that. Like, people will say some stuff every once in a while, but really, I still have we have a long season ahead of us, and I will still have to perform. So.
I mean, he scrambles out to the right, fires it, and it's intercepted. What a catch on a diving effort by Leon Hall in front of Samardzija at the 32. Oh, what a grab!
Not too long ago, Leon was a youngster just feeling his way. He got some help during that time from a senior who took him under his wing, Marlin Jackson, now in the NFL with the Colts. Well, he was a major factor in Leon's development.
A couple years back when Marlin was here and they threw away from him, and and then I was on the other side, so I mean, it was definitely good for me to get a chance to make the plays, but at the same time, they threw away from him for a reason. You know, every time they did throw to him, they paid for it, so that's definitely what I'm trying to do this year.
Obviously, Marlin was leaving a legacy at Michigan, and his leadership clearly had an effect on those who followed him. It's now Leon Hall's time to leave that legacy, and he's intent on doing it properly.
A role reversal too. I mean, first couple of years I had seniors to look up to, you know, and now that I'm kind of in Marlin's position, and then people are looking up to me, it's kind of weird, but I mean, I just try to do my best in trying to, you know what I'm saying, put out a good example, just like Marlon did for me. I learned more from what he did on the field than what he tells me, you know, because I think it goes so much farther for the person to do something rather than to say something. So if he could tell me all this stuff, but if he's not doing it, then it wouldn't go that far. Like, it would go in one ear and out the other. But, I mean, everything he told me, he did. So, I mean, that's the stuff that really stuck with me, that he led by example.
You know, cornerbacks normally, Coach, are pretty flamboyant. Leon's one of those quiet, kind of calm, like steady as a rock guys, isn't he?
This is an unbelievable guy. I can remember when we went out to San Diego to meet him and his family and his coaches. Terrell Austin was recruiting him, and I never dreamt that within this mild-mannered kid there was really an intense, committed football player.
And he comes from some difficult circumstances. His the way he acts and carries himself, unbelievable maturation process.
Well, he's a gentleman off the field, and on the field he's a great competitor, and he's had a great career here. He came in, started several games a true freshman. He's turned into one of the better corners in this country.
All right, when we come back, Leon's going to have his hands full next week. They go up to the Metrodome and take on the Gophers. We'll be back with the scouting report, but first we hear from David Harris, who says the problems with the Gophers are many.
They love to run ball. The key play is the zone. We got to stop that. Can't allow the run back to find crease, because if he does, he's going to hurt us. So we got to come out, prepare good this week, and get ready for Minnesota.
And Alro Steel take you inside the locker room.
I've been down there. You know, it's just I think it's an exciting place to play at, and you know, we just got going. Just like last 2 weeks, we're going on practice focus, and we've been prepared, and we just gotta just like today, we gotta handle any situation and come on top and just win.
Well, the Wolverines go on the road for a night game in Minneapolis against the Gophers, and the oldest trophy in the history of intercollegiate football is up for grabs.
You probably don't remember that story. Coach Yost.
Coach, go ahead and tell it.
Well, he took it up there. He took his own water jug.
This is 1902 or something,
because
right?
he didn't trust 03, I think. He didn't trust the Minnesota team to give him good water. He was afraid that they'd put something in the water and make his team sick. So he took his own jug and they left it. And he wrote a letter. And, you know, they didn't have telephones those days, Jim.
Well, okay.
It was your time. You remember. And anyway, so he wanted the jug back, and they told him, hey, if you want it, come and get it. And if you beat us, we'll give it to you.
The Gophers beat Michigan last year.
Yeah.
And they have the jug now.
Yes, they do.
And they're pretty good. They got some good players. This is a team that Glenn Mason has built around a running game.
Well, he likes to run the football. He's got a very good passing attack off that running attack. He's got an outstanding quarterback, Brian Cupido, who is, I think, in his 4th year as a starter here. It's unbelievable. He's older than I am.
Yeah, Alex Daniels is their big back, but he didn't play yesterday too much against Purdue. Amir Pinnock's got 28 carries for 173 yards.
Well, Pinnock had a great game, and Daniels, Jim, is 255 pounds, another big, strong, powerful back.
Logan Payne is their big wide receiver, but the guy you think is pretty good is Steve Davis, their defensive end.
Well, a year ago, I thought he was as impressive as any freshman I've seen in this league. He was an outstanding athlete, great pass rusher.
Sherrills is their linebacker, and then we showed this play only to show Dominic Jones, their strong safety. This team is #1 in the NCAA in kick returns.
Well, Jim, they're up there in kick returns, obviously, and they do not turn the football over. They're one of the leading teams in the nation in turnover margin, which is exactly the way they want to play. In a lot of ways, this game is going to be a lot like the one we just completed.
You know, it's one of those things where in the old days you would say, stop the run, and you got Minnesota where you want them. With Cupido and their skilled people wide, they detach people. That's not necessarily true anymore, is it?
No. Well, their scheme is this. If you put 8 guys up there, 9 guys to stop the run, which in a lot of cases, if it's 3rd down and short, you have to do. Now they're going to go to the single coverage. So they're a difficult team to get off the field.
A lot of Michigan fans want to know the jug. I've told people, I said, you know, Michigan's had it for a lot of years and a long time. You don't really appreciate it until it's gone.
Well, that's normally true. And, of course, by winning the Little Brown Jug for the first time in a while, Minnesota, you can bet your life, is going to play to keep it. So it's always a great game. It's always something that people across the nation hear about. I heard about the Little Brown Jug when I was a little boy.
Up in Churchill, Tennessee, right?
That's it, buddy.
All right. Don't forget, it's the battle for the Little Brown Jug. The Gophers lost Saturday, so they'll be in a bad mood. Should be a dandy. Make sure you come back right here on Michigan Replay next week, same time. We'll talk all about it right here on Michigan Replay.